Hello. Live from the Universal Backlot. Let's do this. I'm going to give people a second to join. And right now we are on the Universal Backlot and we are at Cine Gear, which is an expo that is all about kind of the behind the scenes, the cameras, the lights, all the behind the scenes parts of making a movie. It's really cool. It's so cool that it's happening on the Universal Backlot right now. Happy Saturday, Eric. Right now we are in Courthouse Square, the iconic location from Back to the Future, from a ton of other movies as well. And that's kind of right where this core little hangout area of Cine Gear is happening right now. It has honestly been, I will say, like an area that I'm not as knowledgeable in is all of the, again, like the gear, the cameras, the lights, all of those things that go into making a movie, but I've seen so much cool stuff. So we are gonna start here for a minute or two, and then we'll totally wander through all of the other sections of Cine Gear, of the Universal Backlot. And I thought this would be a great day to do kind of a general Q&A. So you guys can ask me anything. What I noticed, especially being here today, Universal, like the sets change so much, things change so much. I don't always know where I am when I'm like wandering the backlot. So every street, I'm like, I think this is New York Street. I think this is New York Street. No, this. So anyway, I can't always guarantee that I'm going to know where we are, but I'll walk you through. You guys will see all the different equipments and exhibitors and things, and we'll get to see all the sets and the backlots. I guess the other thing that I should add is the reason that I'm here today, aside from it being a cool expo, is that at 4:15 today, there's going to be a screening of a documentary about Tony Gaudio, who was a cinematographer who worked with my Uncle Carl at IMP, the Independent Moving Pictures Company, which was the company that he had before Universal. It kind of became Universal. So they're doing a screening, I'm just showing you all the stuff, of that documentary, and then afterwards I'm going to be speaking on a little bit of a panel and talking about the work that they did together. Tony Gaudio was the head cinematographer at IMP for a while. He went down to Cuba with Uncle Carl's teams like Mary Pickford and Owen Moore, Thomas Ince, Jack Pickford, and what else? And he did a lot of the early Florence Lawrence films. Florence Lawrence was the very first movie star, and Tony Gaudio did a lot to kind of make her a star in the films, how to light her, different camera angles they could do, stuff like that. What is your favorite piece of movie memorabilia that you or your family own? That's a tough one. I mean, in some ways, I think to all the pictures and stuff we just have some incredible ones. I have a letter to my great-grandfather, or not even a letter, it's like a signed photo from Charlie Chaplin. That's like, to my good friend Eddie from Charlie Chaplin, which is very cool. I'll turn this around the other way. I also have, my cousin Deborah recently bought a cane that belonged to my Uncle Carl. I don't know who had it or how it traveled through the years, but it was one of Uncle Carl's canes, and that's very cool. Look at this building. This is beautiful. And yes, thank you for everyone who's here right at the beginning. We started in Courthouse Square. I can walk back there in a bit, which also is where, so Back to the Future is probably most famous, but the Twilight Zone filmed there, and Gremlins, which is such a fun old film. The cane does not have a werewolf head, but it does have Carl's name on it, which is quite cool. And that's how you know for sure it was his cane. And my cousin Deborah was able to find old pictures of Uncle Carl with the cane. I also have so many cool old like trunks and makeup boxes and stuff from my Aunt Carla, from my great-grandmother, from my great-grandfather Eddie, who traveled the world making movies for Universal. I have his old tripod and tons of stuff that he brought back while he was traveling in like Southeast Asia and stuff like that. This is, of course, the famous mural that was put up just a few years ago. I am pretty obsessed with it. Here's a tram tour as well.
LA-based artist Tristan Eaton, one of the most talented graffiti artists in the world, paying homage to the genre that started.
I don't know if you could hear that, but this is by Tristan Eaton, who's one of the most famous graffiti artists in the world. And yeah, it's absolutely stunning. I love the blend of the modern and historic together. This is so up my alley. And here's a view of the backlot. And hello. So Cine Gear, as I mentioned before, it is an expo that is all the parts of like the technical gear of making a movie. So it's cameras, it's lights, it's all sorts of like robotics and stuff. Oh, if I was around when my family was in charge, what would be my preferred job? I have two answers to this. The first one is that I would have loved to be an actress. I think it would have been really fun to be on screen and to be a part of these classic films. Of course, especially like the monster movies, and even some of the other beautiful movies, Imitation of Life and Phantom of the Opera and All Quiet on the Western Front, which was so important. I would have loved to do some like comedy as well. I don't know, like anyway, so that's one side. But on the other side, I would love to be coming up with like Universal's slate of films and deciding what they're doing. I would have loved to be the Junior Lemley of Universal. And, you know, it's not still totally out of the question that one day that could happen. I'm just taking a bit of a non-traditional route to get there. So, I mean, here's all the things from movies that you don't usually think about, right? People sell the stuff, the carts and the holders and the hangers that everything stands on. You got your rigs that your lights are on. Thank you so much, Neomass. Yeah, it feels really cool to be here today. I've never actually been here. Obviously, I've been on the backlot 1,000 times in my life, but I've never been here like for an expo before. So it's cool to see it in like this new, kind of a totally new way. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys, I've got a little bit of a side quest, by the way, while we are on our little tour or walk around Cine Gear, which is that I have to figure out where I'm actually speaking later. I don't think I officially checked in when I walked in. I just kind of walked in. I noticed everybody's got their little lanyards. I never got myself a lanyard, and I don't know where my theater is going to be. So that's going to be a little bit of a side quest that we're on. I think where stage 28 is today is, someone told me recently it's like where Super Mario went up. And somebody else told me it's Harry Potter. But I'm not entirely confident which one it is. I feel like people are always telling me something different. I wonder what this is in here. Oh, that was literally a smoke machine. I couldn't figure out what I was walking through. I definitely do miss stage 28 very much. I think I just walked us in a circle. Let's turn around. I love little details like this. Like, I wonder if this light right here must be left here from a production, right? That's the stuff that I love to see on a day like this. Not necessarily all the normal stuff, but what's left behind from productions that they forgot about. There's so many. There used to be like a monster maze that was here year round. I miss that very much. Oh, look at this area. Oh, you got to come back to Universal. It's been way too long. 19 years. I think Universal's so cool. It's one of maybe, I guess there's 2 or 3 parks that do such a good job of blending history, but it's hard for me to appreciate it as much when I'm at a place like Disney, which is so polished. I think the 2 that do it best are Universal, especially with their tram tour, but you get all of the rides. And then Knott's Berry Farm, I actually think, does a really great job with their history and how they weave in so much of like California's past. Eric, did you get that job? I always love this facade when we go by because it looks like real buildings, but when you actually get to the end of it, it is so paper thin. It's like, I don't know, a foot or 2 at most. Let's walk through some of the action. I've just been walking us on the outskirts for so long. There we go. Oh, a tour guide job. Sometimes I think about doing that. I almost feel like it would be like undercover boss, but me as a tour guide. And I would make sure that everybody had to hear all about the Universal history more than anything else. Look at these. This is the stuff that I like. I just know nothing about this, but it's amazing. And some people have been doing different, what do you call it? Like, the only word that's coming to mind right now is samples. Like examples, right, of what all of this gear can do. Oh, thank you so much, Classics Lover. I am working on scripts and books. Great question. I am working right now on a biopic. Now, this has been a long time kind of in the thinking and in the making. I am doing it from the angle of Junior Lemley. Junior is kind of my entree into the family, sort of in those years around the Universal monsters. So that's something that I'm really excited about. I'm kind of smack dab in the middle of right now. And then in addition to that, I have one script I'm doing for fun that is inspired by the monsters, but is not a remake. It's really a reimagining in a different sense. I know with some people that's very popular, with some people that's less popular. But that I'm working on. And then I am working on a biography of Uncle Carl because there is no modern biography of him, which is absolutely insane. So that's something I'm hoping to get done. But between my channel, between all of the appearances I do, which I absolutely love to do, between having a life, it's so hard to get a script, another script, a book. Oh, and I have my kids' book of my Aunt Carla that I've been working on for a long, long time. So piece by piece, I'm putting all of it together. But none of it's complete yet. But one day, 100 things are going to come out at once, and you guys will be shocked, amazed, excited, and more. Optimus gear. This is sort of, I want to say that they call this like a corporate square, something like that. This is whenever anything's happening in like office buildings and a businessy downtown, this is where they'll be. Oh yeah, Jack Pierce biopic is like long in the making. He did so much amazing work. And in addition to all of the makeup work that he did, which in itself is amazing, he also was the coach of the Universal basketball team that went to the Olympics in Germany in 1936 and won the gold medal. They won the first ever gold medal for basketball in the Olympics, which is pretty incredible. So I would watch a Jack Pierce biopic in a second. I also know, he was known to be a little curmudgeonly, a little not always easy to work with, but I think that there are some really fun ways that could be done. Yes, I would also watch a Millicent Patrick film. Is it Lady from the Black Lagoon, which is a Mallory O'Meara book? Millicent Patrick made the creature from the Black Lagoon costume. She was really brilliant. I think she had also worked for Disney once upon a time. But then the Westmores, I think Bud Westmore in particular, got pretty jealous of her success and of the attention that she was getting. And he kind of erased her from history and took a lot of the credit. And it's only in the last decade or two, I think very much because of the work of Mallory O'Meara, that people are realizing the work that she did. So yeah, I think a Millicent Patrick film would be great too. Scott, the event that I'm at is called Cine Gear. And Cine Gear is an expo that is like all of the cameras and lights and sort of crew gear that is important to making a film. Here we have the Lyric Theater. Metal Supply. If you guys are at all in the industry, if you guys make films, this is probably all gear, whether you realize it or not, that you guys will need or be using. Maybe you don't know the brands, but you know the gear. I think this is the end this way. This is actually where I walked in right here. Hi, John. Welcome to the stream. We're at the Cine Gear Expo, and we are walking the back lot. Yes, my Aunt Carla did meet Bela Lugosi, and interestingly enough, I think she met, kind of everybody. She's got stories of like stumbling upon Lon Chaney filming The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Obviously my family was working closely with Bela and Boris and Lon and all the big stars of the day. So I don't think I have ever found pictures of Carla and Bela together, but I do know that they met. This is Day View. Syntegral. Otherworld computing. Let's look at more exhibits this way. Can we walk down this path? I also cannot forget my side quest of actually checking in and figuring out where I'm going to be speaking on my panel later. The backlot here really is huge. I see these structures a lot in TV shows specifically, and weirdly enough, I always feel like I recognize this from the show Happy Endings, even though I don't think Happy Endings filmed here. But there's a couple of scenes in a couple of episodes where it looks just like this. But a lot of shows film back here. Ghost Whisperer used to film back here. Oh my gosh, Hacks is back here all the time. You guys, if you don't watch Hacks already, you really, really should. It is an incredible TV show. But Hacks, like a character this season, was the Universal Backlot. They were always walking around. They walked through the plane set. They walk by the Carl Laemmle building. I guess you really have to know. Here's a boom mic. This is what people talk into when they're filming movies. Do events like these allow you your only chance behind the scenes? Do you have access of other kinds? So, my access comes and goes in waves. It's sort of, sometimes I get really special opportunities and special treatment, which is amazing, and I'm so appreciative of it. And sometimes things are a little more locked down and average. But a lot of times, like if I'm here for, say, a meeting, or if I'm here for something more official, I'm not really supposed to be walking around filming willy-nilly. I have to be kind of more respectful of, I don't know, being like a guest on the lot with somebody else. I know that sounds silly, but it's just something I have to do. And I think that there's a lot of privacy around it, because what if I was live streaming and I accidentally picked up a spoiler from a TV show or a movie or something like that? So things are a lot more locked down in that respect on a day-to-day. So something like Cine Gear is really excited, and of course I took advantage of it, because today I get to be here and I get to film whatever I see, and I just get to kind of meander freely, and I don't have to worry about getting anyone in trouble or anything like that. The old Frankenstein streets, I think you're thinking of kind of the European, the Court of Miracles and that European street and stuff like that. They're not there in the way that they originally were, because Universal has had something like 8 major fires over the last century, I guess. I assume they're all accidental, but sometimes it feels a little sus. So there is now a Court of Miracles. There are some of those older sets, some of them even in the same place, but they're rebuilt. They're not the original that were there. Oh, here, I can turn this around right here. This is actually on this side. If anybody is watching St. Denis right now, this is the exterior from St. Denis. And actually, if you do the VIP tour right now, they will take you into the hospital, like the interiors, and let you see the sound stage and walk around. Here's, I guess, where the ambulances will show up. It's always so interesting to me, here's the exterior. I bet the interior is somewhere different entirely. We didn't just walk in on the other side of this building. And over here, I can pretty much guarantee you that none of this is getting shown on St. Denis, because this doesn't look like where St. Denis is filmed. So I always think that that's such cool insight. Your exterior is going to be over here. Your interior is going to be somewhere totally different. And when you're looking out across the street, they're going to build something totally different for you. You know what else I'm a little worried about today? I did not put on sunscreen. I will probably burn. And I got to make it until 4 o'clock, because that's when my panel is. For those of you who weren't here earlier, the reason I'm at Cine Gear today is because at 4:15, they're doing a screening of a documentary on Tony Gaudio, who was a really important cinematographer in the mid-19 teens, and he used to work with Carl Laemmle. He worked at the Independent Moving Pictures Company. He worked with Florence Lawrence a lot at IMP. What else did he do? He went to Cuba with Uncle Carl. So anyway, I'm going to be speaking here at Cine Gear after the Tony Gaudio documentary at 4. I think I saw a few other questions. Oh, Psycho House. I absolutely love the Psycho House and the Bates Motel. I think those are really fun to walk by. And I remember for a time the 1313 Mockingbird Lane, the Munsters home, was in that area. I really loved that. I should find some shade soon. I might sit down with you guys in a little bit. It's pretty hot today. It's not burning hot, but it's hot. Okay, also this line, I think you guys could probably see it's a really long line. This line here is to meet cinematographer Richard Deakins, who I think he worked on 1917, Blade Runner 2049, a couple other really big films. They're kind of slipping my mind right now, but those two for sure. And this line has been like this all day long. I wonder if we can see him in here. Oh yeah. I don't know if you guys can see him, but he's back there. That guy with the white hair, Richard Deakins. My speaking engagement will not be on the live stream. I don't think that I'm allowed to. That's a good question, though. I should start just asking when I have different events if I can live stream the events, because I would love you guys to actually get opportunities to like see the other types of work that I'm doing. But today I will not be live streaming it. This car is pretty bad. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear in here. Ukraine. And thank you so much for saying that I am a good streamer. These are so legit that these are like Mercedes AMG, a Porsche, all blacked out like this and converted into these cranes. This is the magic that's behind the movies that you watch. Look at all these cameras. I don't think that the Munsters is here anymore. I feel like a couple of years ago, 1313 Mockingbird Lane got taken down. I forget, was Leave It to Beaver? Was that on like the Wisteria Lane, like Colonial Street? Is that where that was? Yeah, I'll look into seeing if I can, and this sounds so silly, and not to say, again, that I couldn't maybe find the right person and just show up and film on a random street, but probably because I have to coordinate with with all of the other productions going on. I wonder if I could work with somebody so that I could go to a specific part of the park some days and talk all about the history and what it was even like in the Lemley era. We're back in Courthouse Square, by the way. And just talk about its evolution through the years. I do know that you guys would enjoy that. I would love it so much. Do you know, it's nuts how in all the walking that I've done, I think I walked 3 circles, I still haven't figured out where I'm supposed to go. Oh, I probably just didn't recognize it anymore. I remember it being like right when you turned, I don't know, when you turned the corner, but I don't know how to explain it other than that. Fox truck shelving, fast modular systems, grips, set lighting, dolly, props, stake bed. I think I might be walking in the direction that will take us by those monster. Oh, I got excited. I thought I saw my name for a second. It's close. But by the big monster murals again. Yes. Do you guys want to see the Universal Monster murals? So for those of you who weren't here at the beginning, we did walk by these ones, but honestly, I keep getting lost, so I don't really know where I'm going here. But these murals were put up, I want to say in the last 5 to 7 years. The artist's name is Tristan Eaton. He's a really popular graffiti artist. And I absolutely love the monster mural here because it's such a cool blend of like the modern and the historic, right? It's the monsters that I know and love, but in this like new way. So here is our Universal monster mural. Oop, I definitely just went a little crooked because I was looking at it and not you guys. You know, Universal wasn't my playground when I was a little kid because when I was a little kid, I lived in Connecticut. My mom, I guess, rebelled a little bit. Oh, earlier I was talking about how thin this building is here. That's always such a trip to me because it's just a facade. It's not a real building. And you can see the tippy top of the Wizarding World over there. Yeah, so I lived in Connecticut until I was 13 years old. My mom, I don't know, she moved to New York for a little bit. That's where she graduated from college. And then she moved to Connecticut because I think she thought she wanted a quiet life. And I'm not going to lie, then pretty soon after she got to Connecticut, I think she realized that she missed kind of the hustle and bustle of LA after all. But it still took her about 13 years to make the move and finally go back. So when I was a little kid, no, this was not, oh, I dropped my drink. This was not my playground. Uh-oh. Oh no, and now there's like a tram tour coming. There's my drink, and there's the tour. It's gonna go all the way under. Hi. Oh my God, they're gonna run over my drink. Oh no, they didn't do it. But maybe this truck will. Sorry, I'm too distracted right now. Okay. My bad. And this is not an ad, but I do love these drinks so much. And I'll put it on the ground. All right. So there we go. Okay, just making sure I didn't actually miss anything while I was in a full-blown panic there. So anyway, I moved to California when I was like 13 years old. And yes, then from that point on, I started coming to Universal a lot. And I did get a lot of opportunities to kind of run around and explore here. And I also had friends who started working here and family friends and all of that. So yes, I would come to Universal, but I don't have like the full-blown unfettered access that like I would love to have. I would love to just show up and be like, hi, I'm Antonia, let me in and do everything. I don't have that. What else was I going to say? Oh, my Aunt Carla, though, did have that access. She grew up living in a bungalow, literally on the Universal Backlot somewhere. Nobody's exactly sure where it was. We don't have like the, what do you call it? The blueprints or anything like that. So we don't know exactly where it was, but I do know it was close enough to the zoo that she could wake up in the morning by hearing the lion roar. I know the camel would escape and come graze on her lawn sometimes. She would just wander around all the time. She had her birthday parties in the costume warehouse. She just lived an absolute dream life. That would be my dream. If I could move now to the Universal Backlot and live in one of these little, it could be an empty sound stage, it could be like an empty facade, like one of these, I would do it. Also, you can see a little bit of kind of the western area. What do you think? Is this mixed recycling? Tell me if I should be putting it in here with all of these boxes. Oh, this might have my answer. Paper, cans. I don't. Here's another tram tour. They're waving. This is like the classic Universal shot, right? Monsters in the back, the tram tour going by. Uncle Carl would be so proud. You know, yes, I did see Hitchcock's office. There's a little silhouette of him on it, and I walked right by on my way in. And I will walk by again on my way out, but I don't think I'll be live streaming then. But I will snap a picture, and I'll post it for you guys later. So over here, this is kind of the little western area. Oh, you know what else? I was recently at the Cowboy Carter tour, and I am like 99% positive that some of Beyonce's visuals, she has like a little shootout, she has stuff like that. 99% sure that they were filmed here in the Universal lot. I do know that she filmed Lemonade here. I remember hearing stories like when I think the log cabin on the back lot was like her dressing room area. And I remember, there was a lot of like buzz around the lot when that happened. So that's something. Okay, I'm gonna take my side quest a little more seriously now, and let's figure out where. I think I need to go somewhere called the Commons, because I'm pretty sure that that's where I'm gonna be doing my, my presentation. I don't know if Universal advertises my channel. I guess that would be a question for them. But they should. I think I'm giving them good publicity. They don't know what they're missing out on. Oh, Horror of One, did you just show up? Yes, they do have Courthouse Square. We were by it a little bit ago. I can maybe walk by it. Can I play an instrument? Yeah, I could play some piano. Let's go this way. I could play a little guitar. I can play, what else? I played clarinet in middle school. Does that count? Oh, speaking of Back to the Future.
Yeah, and that's how I got my business. I got my office space in the Galleria. I sublet it from one of my clients.
Sorry.
He rented the whole floor.
Look at that.
They downsized.
Yes, it is.
I didn't realize. I think we can actually go inside. Oh yeah, back to the back lot, Back to the Future. Private event. Antonia, yeah.
Antonia?
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm live streaming right now. Is that okay?
Is that okay?
Hi.
Hey, I'm a huge fan. I follow you on Instagram. We are both standing in such an amazing place that your family built. And everybody here doesn't even know that you are a legacy holder of what your family did here. And it's just, I cannot believe I get to meet you right here at this moment.
Thank
God
you so
bless
much.
you.
What's your name?
DJ.
DJ,
Yeah.
it's so nice to meet you.
I'm such a fan. Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's
After
so
you're
nice
done
to meet you. Here.
keep streaming, but
Yes.
I gotta do a selfie at least. Hey,
Hi.
it's such an honor to meet you.
It's so nice to meet
Yeah,
you too.
I'd love to work with you one day, for real.
Reach out to me. Send me an email.
Wow, what a beautiful honor, Queen. God bless you.
Thank you
God
so
bless
much.
You. What a beautiful honor right now.
Thank you. Wow, guys. That was not a paid actor. That was real.
And so I think for a period of time, the people who are responsible for operating the technology have realized that, that it's there for a reason, not for just the technology. butts for the storytelling?
Well, we've covered a lot of ground, and we've talked about some of the perks of what Los Angeles and LA are. Some of it is infrastructure. We have wonderful sound stages. We have vendors we can talk to directly. But I think the big one, and you notice me bringing this up, is people. It's the people you meet and the ones you work with. It's the same group that started with Halloween. You guys graduate to go to the next group and the next group. You find your team and stick together. We're all here because we have a shared dream. We want to make motion pictures, television, whatever it is you want to story you tell, you want to tell it.
Exactly. You know, and I think that's one of those things that we have to be careful not to get distracted by the technology that guides us. You know, you can do this, I can do that. Okay, let me see if I can think of some reason to do that, as opposed to saying, okay, here's what the story in the film needs. What's the equipment or technology that will enable me to make the decision to do it?
Right, Jurassic's a great example. You guys were going to make that movie whether those CG dinosaurs worked or not.
Exactly. You know, and it was, you know, it was fascinating to work on.
Hey, John, unfortunately, I will not be live streaming my event.
The original concept was so much of it was going to be puppets, we call them, or the mechanical dinosaurs.
And then Phil Tippett for the wide shot itself.
All right, so that was Back to the Future. Let's head back out. What's up? Oh, selfie? Sure.
Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
Wow, what an honor. I wish I had a better phone.
No, that's all right. It was so nice meeting you.
It was great to. Are you still live streaming?
I am, yeah.
And when you're not live streaming, you gotta come say hi.
You know, I'm doing a panel at
Are you really?
4:15. They're screening Tony Gaudio is he's got a documentary here,
Okay.
or it's a documentary about Tony Gaudio,
Okay.
and I'll be speaking after the screening.
How long is the movie?
Hour and a
Girl,
half.
you were
Hour
in
and
the
a half?
movie? Okay.
I'm not in the movie. I'm just speaking after because Tony Gaudio worked with
I
Carl
wanna hear what you
Laemmle.
have to say.
All right.
Wow, I think about the history that this place holds. It was your great grandfather?
My great uncle.
Your great uncle, okay. I think about the story. So Carla, it was his
His niece.
his
Carla
niece.
was his niece.
And so, and that's about growing up with monsters.
Yes.
Was that the?
That's a book about her. Yes.
I love this book. I think it should be a movie. The Universal should produce it. But one of my favorite stories is when the animals, because they keep the animal actors out here, and the animals got loose. And I was just imagining what, from her perspective, a little girl being raised and growing up with monsters here.
So I've been working on a kid's book that's actually very
you
much
really?
along these lines. So
you
hopefully
really?
one day it really will be made into a show or a movie.
Oh, absolutely. It could be a film like 20 million easy, but it would be. But I love that when the animals got out and what it would be like from her perspective to see all these, and then like your great uncle like running around trying to chase these giraffes. Like, anyway, so wow, it's such an honor to meet you.
Totally. No,
Yeah.
thank you so
God bless
much.
you,
I'll
Queen.
see ya. Guys, you know that when he's talking to me, he can see what you're writing too, right? I think that's so cool. Lately, I'll actually say, I'll be a little honest about this and not so humble. Lately, I have been getting recognized a lot more in public, which is honestly very fun and very cool for me. Yes, whatever. I've been getting recognized kind of all over the place. So whatever, if you see me in public, you can come up and say hi to me. You can talk to me all about your favorite movies. I love it. I absolutely love it. So right now we're in one of the sound stages. It is absolutely giant. I hope I don't back into anything. Oh, look at that Wicked. This is really embarrassing to admit, but I have not yet seen the trailer for the new Wicked movie. But I already know that I am going to absolutely love it. I thought the first one was incredible. There are, oh, what did you guys all think of the new Frankenstein trailer, the Del Toro one? That's actually a giant curiosity for me. I'm going to wait until you guys say first what you think, and then I'll let you guys know what I think. Look at all the different lights here. This is what I need to light me every day. Honestly, it's really nice to be in the shade right now. Did I lose you guys? Do I still have service in here? I'm getting weird messages on my screen and it's making me nervous. Maybe I should walk back outside.
You talk about the story. I want to talk about the story. Yeah. That's what I got into filmmaking for, not in photography. You should tell the story.
And the fun thing is when you're a kid watching Hitchcock, or even in class, and you see.
There really are a lot of people here. It's very cool and just inspiring. I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was cutting in and out. Okay, we're out of here. We don't need to walk in sound stages. I'm back. Very inspiring just to see this whole other side of the industry that I appreciated in the moment when I see it, but it's easy to forget sometimes just how much goes into making a movie. That every pin, every screw, every light, everything was very specifically chosen. You can see a little bit of, is that maybe some of the Western set back there? I do see an ambulance over there, but hopefully that's just, oh yeah, I see a little congregation of police down there. Oh, fun fact, Universal has its own police force. That's something that it's had all the way since the beginning because Universal City was built as an actual city. And one of their first police chiefs was actually a woman. It was a woman named Laura Oakley, and she was kind of the first female police chief, I think, ever in the entire country. So that's kind of pretty amazing. Yes, I have done some acting before, but not, you know what, actually, I did some acting not that long ago. There used to be a TV show all the way back in the early 2000s called Strange Days at Blake Halsey High, which was like a very fun kind of sci-fi show. I used to watch it back when I was like a young teenager. And recently they did a little bit of a revival online, and I got to be in some of the episodes of the revival. So I actually did do some acting recently. You could probably find it on YouTube, Strange Days at Blake Halsey High. Unfortunately, it didn't get like picked up for a full series or anything. It was just a little bit of like a couple of shorts. But yeah, I'm actually always open to acting opportunities. It's something that I find really fun. I spend a lot of time. It's funny because even though I've got a YouTube series, it doesn't always feel like I'm creative necessarily. It feels very logic-minded, history and just like sequences of events, if that makes sense. So acting feels like a really cool opportunity to actually flex those creative muscles of mine. And hopefully I just keep getting more opportunities. I think somebody asked to see Courthouse Square. I'm walking back around to Courthouse Square right now. Let's see, Dragnet was filmed at Universal in the 60s. Did my parents make me into a child star when I was younger? They did not make me into a child star, but I actually did as a little kid. I did quite a bit of theater in both Connecticut and in New York, but that was absolutely my own pushing. I think I really liked being, oh my gosh, look at this suit. I really liked being in front of the camera or on stage from an early age and was always trying to find opportunities to do that. Look at these classic cars. All right, I think it was a horror one. Asked to see Courthouse Square. And here we are. Ask and you shall receive. I always come through. Yes, To Kill a Mockingbird also shot here. You know, I know the Ghost Whisperer used to film right over here. Legion of Doom. Yes, I went to the opening of Epic Universe. Universal, actually, they invited me out. They had me walk what they called the Celestial Carpet for the opening event of Epic Universe. So there's a couple of interviews out there of me at the event. And then I got to go into the park. I went. It was such a quick stop for me because I had been in Boise, LA, Epic Universe, Orlando, and New York in the span of like a week. So I had 2 days to spend at the Epic Universe. But yes, it was absolutely amazing. I so highly recommend if you guys get the chance to go. I do know that they're experiencing maybe a little bit of growing pains right now as they're doing their opening. I've heard that sometimes the lines are a little bit longer than normal. Of course, they're getting some of the kinks out of the rides, but it's so cool. And the Dark Universe in particular, just amazing. It feels literally like you have been transported back into like 1930s, 1920s Germany, like those Frankenstein sets. It really just feels like you're there. The Monsters Unchained ride, so cool. It kind of incorporates all the monsters. The story follows Victoria Frankenstein, who's like the great-granddaughter of Henry Frankenstein. And she's trying to bring all the monsters back to life to like continue her family's legacy. You know, I love a story of somebody trying to further their family's legacy. I connect to that very, very strongly. And the ride is just super cool. There's also a werewolf ride. It's kind of, I don't know if any of you guys have been to Knott's Berry Farm. This is like the only other ride that I have to compare it to, but Sidewinder at Knott's Berry Farm uses kind of the same technology where the coaster is, it kind of moves side to side forward. You spin around in circles as you go on the coaster, if that makes sense. So it's very cool. I did do a live stream from the Epic Universe. So if you guys want, you could go watch it. I think I did half vertical because I didn't quite set the stream up properly. And then I did half horizontal when my stream totally glitched out and I had to start over anyway. So you've got 2 very cool streams to watch. I will absolutely go back given the chance. I really just need to find time in my calendar. yeah, I want to go experience all of it again. I feel like the first couple times I'm there, it's like I'm just taking in as much as possible. Now I want to explore all the ins and outs. You know, I think so. Sorry. In response to Peter from Ohio, hello. Yeah, I probably don't talk about the Wasserman era too much. I don't, generally speaking, talk a ton about any of the non-Lemley eras, and those are kind of times that I'm still learning about. I know, actually, weirdly enough, I think I've been in the Wasserman home before, which is right next door to where my great grandfather's house was. Total coincidence. I saw some friends there once, and once I was already in the home, I found out it was the Wasserman's house, and I was like, wait a minute, I have a connection to them. But I don't know a ton of the ins and the outs of other kind of Universal regimes the way that I, of course, know the Lemley era inside and out.
You got a fight?
I wonder, is that something you guys would like to hear more about? The different, like, Universal eras and what I think of them, or how they changed the studio? Do you want me to kind of come up into common eras? I know that there were some, like the new Universal, for instance, I do have kind of strong feelings about, because some of those, John, I like your answer, but of course I'll do anything you guys want. There are some regimes at Universal where their goal was to erase the history and start completely over and just pretend like nothing else existed. You know what I mean? And that's some of the reason I think today that we don't have Lemley Boulevard, which was here once upon a time, that a lot of kind of the original stuff that was instated by my Uncle Carl has disappeared a bit. Oh, I was going to sit in the shade, but look, all the shade is like taken. So I could speak a little more to those regimes, but okay, I need to find out where the commons are. Can somebody confirm, is it like 3 o'clock right now? 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time? Excuse me, do you know where the commons are? The commons? No, okay, thank you. $2.58, thank you. I've got 1 hour till I need to be where I'm supposed to be, and I have no idea where I'm going. I used to watch Betty Boop when I was younger, but I haven't watched Betty Boop in recent years. But I would like to. One of my actually short-term goals, I recently found out just how much Clara Bow worked with Universal in her early days. And in fact, I think her first ever starring role was with Universal. So of course I want to learn more about Clara Bow now. You know, I know the basics, I know the big stuff, but I don't know her like deeply. And then of course to know Clara Bow is to know Betty Boop, because I'm 99% positive that she was the inspiration. So these things will very much be connected for me. Here's a guy, this is cool actually. I saw this guy holding this camera. He was literally jumping before and the camera didn't move at all. I have heard about Clara Bow and Bela Lugosi. I've heard that he had a portrait of her hanging in his home, but I've also heard people say that that wasn't her after all. So I'm curious to get to the truth on that. I think Carrie Bible is this amazing historian in the Los Angeles area. She does tours at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery, and she has a web series called Hollywood Kitchen, where she will cook recipes from old Hollywood actors and actresses, directors, all of that. Well, we might sit down for a second. I need to get in the shade. So she'll cook recipes and stuff. And she and I made a recipe that my Aunt Carla submitted to this like old Hollywood kind of horror sci-fi cookbook. Oh, guys, I'm burning. Whoopsie. So all of that to say that Carrie Bible, I think one day we talked about this and she had the answer to whether or not the portrait in Bela's home was actually Clara Bow or not. Thank you so much, Manny. Yeah, I've done a couple. I will say I've loved like the last maybe 6 or 7 videos that I've done. I love them all. They all feel a little bit like babies to me. But talking about, Bela and the curse of Dracula, talking about just how Dracula was kind of a surprise hit, in the script that I'm writing, that's definitely a part of that story. Those are very cool. I will have a new video up tomorrow. It is, what did I call it? I think I called it Before Marvel. Universal Monsters did it first. And it is about the Frankenstein meets the Wolfman movie and how it was the very first ever cinematic universe. It's the first crossover of 2 characters from like totally different worlds meeting in one movie. And of course now that's like the foundation for so many movies, for so many right? The Marvel universe and Freddy versus Jason and the Conjuring universe, Alien versus Predator, all of that starts with Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. So that will be out, like I said, tomorrow. Oh, look what happened here. Okay. The UCM, the MCU, the UCM. I'll give you guys a little view of my view if you'd like. I found a nice little shady area right between some buildings. I think these guys over here are going to film something, so I might be in their background. We'll find out. I think, you guys can tell me if you think this is a good topic or not, that perhaps one of the next ones I'm going to do is Frankenstein and the case for nature versus nurture. That's something that I've been thinking about a lot. What else? I would really just like to do one about Julie Adams. Creature from the Black Lagoon, even though it's not a Lemley era movie, is one of my favorite movies. So, and I could watch it 1,000 times. So I think Julie Adams is coming up. I for sure had some other ideas. I get requests all the time for like non-horror topics, which I'm happy to do, but I feel like every time I do non-horror topics, nobody watches them. Weigh in for me. Should I be making those? I guess should I be making those because I'm passionate about them anyway and not worry about what you guys will watch or not because you'll come back when I do a topic that you appreciate? What are other topics you would like me to do? And I did see somebody asked about Yvonne DiCarlo, who I love. I think she's stunning, beautiful, amazing, talented, all of the things. If she would have done events with my Aunt Carla back in the day, there's a really good chance that she and I crossed paths, but I don't have any pictures with her that I'm aware of, and otherwise I don't think I met her, but I'm a huge, huge, huge fan. It is so nice to sit in the shade. Guys, do you think I got burnt here? I think I got burnt. I should have put on sunscreen. Forget Mickey, Minnie, John, Goofy. We have Count Dracula, Frankenstein, the Werewolf, the Invisible Man, and Herman Munster. I love the Munsters. I absolutely love the Munsters. It's funny because like obviously I knew the monsters first, Dracula, Frankenstein, etc., etc. But my first like regular viewing for sure would have been watching the actual Munsters, like back when they were on Nick at Night. I watched all the time. At some point I got like a VHS set, which then turned into getting a DVD set of the Munsters. I was like, I don't know, very much obsessed for a while when I was younger. Oh, Edgar Ulmer, that would be a good one. And Karl Freund is somebody I've been thinking a lot about lately. He, of course, comes up every time we do talk about, Dracula, The Cat and the Canary, and what was I just saying? I was just thinking about him, I think because of Metropolis, which of course is such a big film. Oh, that's another thing. Sometimes there are a couple movies where I think I might veer a little bit outside of the Universal universe. I did that with Freaks recently because it feels so closely connected. It feels like family. I think that there's a really good chance that I'm going to make one about the Mark of the Vampire. Again, it's not a Universal film, but it's Todd Browning, it's Bela Lugosi, it's vampires. It's so closely connected. I think Flash Gordon was the very end. I actually saw a handful of the Flash Gordon serial episodes because the Old Town Music Hall in El Segundo was playing those before their films once upon a time. And that was like my introduction to Flash Gordon and actually getting to see it on a big screen. That would be really fun. I think that's right at the end of my family being there. And yes, okay, can I tell you guys, I think that like one of my more fun, interesting videos that I've made in the last year, like I was so proud of this video. I was like, this is the one. This is a video that's gonna hit, is my comparison of Frankenstein and Jurassic Park. I have never been more confident in a video posting it. My thumbnail was fire, and that is not my strong suit. And I don't even think it hit 1,000 views. I don't know what happened. It was like, I don't know. So somebody just commented and said that they liked that comparison. Yeah, they love the comparison thoughts. You guys should all watch it. I made such good observations, such good connections between the two films. I put a lot of work into it. Go watch it. I watched Dracula versus Frankenstein, the 1971 Al Adamson movie. No, I have not seen that movie. I should absolutely watch it. I don't know where I've been for that one. There's such a void in my knowledge when you get more modern, but not like in my lifetime. That's where I probably know the least. I also have a long way to go on like the Hammer films. I know that I need to get, there's a lot that I still need to watch. I have done Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein before. I did a video on that movie, but yes, I can go more into like some of the other crossover films. I think that they're really fun. And in tomorrow's video, the one about Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, I talk very briefly about Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, and I also I include a couple of clips. So go check those out. I feel like I really wandered hoping that I was going to find the theater that I'm speaking in like an hour. And yet I never found the theater. So I probably have 5 more minutes here for last questions and last thoughts. And then I just got to find where I got to be and stay out of the sun. Oh yeah, you guys see that? That's not good. Speaking of Jurassic Park franchise, I can't wait to see, Jurassic World, yes. Terrifier at Horror Nights. I think that would be really fun to see. I've seen, actually full disclosure, I've seen Terrifier 1, I've seen Terrifier 2. Terrifier 1 really did shock me. But it was enjoyable. I don't always love like crazy, gratuitous, like nutso blood and guts, but I did love Terrifier 2. I think that would make a really good Horror Nights house. My favorite Universal monster is the Frankenstein monster. My favorite movie is The Bride of Frankenstein. I think it's a practically perfect movie. I actually did a panel with author Julie and David Stone a week ago where we talked about The Bride of Frankenstein. He wrote the book. You guys have to read it. I link it in a lot of my videos. It's definitely in my Dracula Frankenstein It's in one or two of my last videos, so go get the book. It's called It's Alive. It's about the days leading up to the filming of Frankenstein and when they were deciding whether Boris Karloff or Bela Lugosi was going to play the monster. And he is writing a book now about the Bride of Frankenstein. So hopefully that comes out soon. But anyway, we were just talking about the movie, and it reminded me how perfect of a movie it is. Are you taking part in any of Universal celebrations of the 50th anniversary of Jaws? Not until they call me, but I will. I don't know what it means to make you a mod, Manny. What does that mean? Unclear. I can take you guys for one more brief walk through Cine Gear. Thank you. Oh my God. Literally, I'm always losing my sunglasses. Always. Thank you so much. Yes, I do like Vincent Price. And I actually got to meet Victoria, his daughter. She and I filmed something like interviews for a documentary last year, and she and I filmed like back to back. So I got to meet her and talk with her a little bit. And I would really like to get to know her better. She had such interesting stories about her dad. I genuinely have no idea. One of my not best traits, I don't know, one of my flaws right now is that I do all of these interviews, I do all of these documentaries, I do all these things, and then I never follow up to see like where they are, what happens with them. So I did film a documentary. Victoria Price is in the documentary. I have no idea if it's aired, if it's out in the world, or if it ever will be. But if it is, and I find out, I'll post it and let you guys know. And I think there was something else I was gonna say in relation to that, but oh yes, and the Odyssey. You know what's so cool about the Odyssey is that I went to Morocco in April, and I went to Ouarzazate, which is kind of the Hollywood of Morocco. So many movies, if they have, say that like desert landscape, they're going to a place like Ouarzazate to film it. And Christopher Nolan was filming the Odyssey there just 1 week before I got there. He had, you know, all the actors out there. So I got to see where they filmed, but unfortunately I didn't get to see him. Excuse me, do you know where the Commons is? The Commons? Like where the theaters are?
Oh, the theaters are where you came in?
Like by where you park?
Yeah.
All the way over there? All right. Guess what, guys? We're going on a walk. I might actually be able to show you some really cool buildings now, because I think I just found out that where I'm going is like all the way back by where I parked, which is all the way in the Carl Laemmle like parking garage. So I think we will pass by Hitchcock's office. We'll pass by the little Ted statue, all of that. Oh, here's another tram tour.
Cine Gear Expo, you're going to see a little bit of the Metropolitan Center.
Well, that explains why my side quest of figuring out where I was supposed to present didn't pan out while I was over there and all that mess, because I guess my theater is all the way over there. So here we have the Johnny Carson building. I've been to Universal LA years ago, took the tour bus. We stopped at the Bates house. Oh, that's cool. Jim Carrey. Yeah, Christopher Nolan is amazing. You guys see that Hitchcock right there? Fun fact, Alfred Hitchcock and I share a birthday, August 13th. Here's the Bud Westmore building. I'm not gonna lie, I've never heard a good word in my life about Bud Westmore. These are all different office buildings. I do like to wave at the trams when they go by. It feels a little like I'm a secret they just don't know about yet, but one day they might. And if somebody catches me on film, one day they're gonna go, wait a minute. That's Antonia from Universal Me. More offices. Who didn't have bad blood with Bud Westmore? Millicent Patrick for sure had bad blood with Bud Westmore. I think, isn't Westmore who ousted Jack Pierce? Aren't those like pretty largely connected? Okay, right now we are at the corner of Scheinberg Place and Amblin. And down there is where Spielberg's offices are. But I know that he is very serious about security and filming and all of that, so I'm not even gonna attempt to go down there. I think one of Jack Pierce's last gigs was Mr. Ed, wasn't it? Which is just, I mean, cool. Mr. Ed was a great show, but a little nuts to me after the rest of the prolific career that he had. Here's another tram tour. This one's pretty empty.
Jimmy Stewart. But today, these bungalows are the offices for writers, producers, and directors.
Oh, have you seen the, look at that coaster up there. I think that's the Fast and Furious coaster. It's looking real good. I'm so excited to have like a real coaster here. Oh, and here's the Ted statue. I don't think I showed you guys before. And I don't know, I could show you the Carl Laemmle building ahead, but it is not impressive. He deserves better. I deserve not to be sunburned, but I didn't plan properly. Should have worn a hat. Stage 18. I do like that even on the weekends, Universal's hustling, bustling. Hustle and bustling? Hustling and bustling. I think if I stay on a live long enough, I get a little delirious. So this building, right there, that is the Carl Laemmle building. And if I get all this way and the Commons aren't over here, I'm gonna scream.
The inside of our spot.
What else? What else? We're at Soundstage 16. Another tram tour. I should have my own star on the Walk of Fame, and I should have my own star here at Universal. Here's like Post and Media Operations, NBC. I actually don't know what this is right over here. Look at that little building. Studio Post. Stage 14. I think Bel Air films over here. And I think then that that's why we have stuff that's like Bel Air Academy. See more Fast and Furious coaster over there, right through between stage 15. You can hear the Jurassic, well, I can hear Jurassic Park a little in the distance. And there's the Minion as well. And back to me. Junior, I don't think has any special spot here at this Universal, and he does not have a star on the Walk of Fame, though I truly believe that he deserves it for his work for the monsters. I did hear though that at Epic Universe, below the Burgermeisters, there's like kind of the stair and the sign says Burgermeisters. There's a 428 down at the bottom in the bricks, and I've heard that that's a Junior reference. So he does get some recognition there. But I would love for him to have a little more recognition here. They did put like a little Lemley Square, Lemley Courtyard inside the park. I guess that could apply to either, but the little plaque on the outside only talks about Carl Lemley Sr. And yeah, it's probably easy to lose a little bit of perspective, but yeah, it is pretty cool to be just walking through right now on a weekend. But God, if I don't find where I'm supposed to be. Excuse me, do you know where the Commons is? No? Where did you check in and get your thing? All the way up there? Awesome, thank you. All right, we're gonna go that way. That might be the Commons. Stage 28 is not on the Universal Backlot. It got taken down in about 2014. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out where I'm going. It got taken down in 2014. What I keep hearing the most in my comments is that Mario is in its place. But it would surprise me a little bit. Why didn't Mario not start getting built until like 5 years later? What time is it right now? Is it 3:20? I'm really only guessing by how long my live has been live. I also haven't checked my battery at all. This is very unlike me. Anyway, stage, thank you, 323. Stage 28's not there anymore. Here's stage 3. That's still standing. And right here, one of the few bits of the back lot still for my Uncle Carl. This gorgeous, stunning, incredible, important parking garage. And that's like one of the main gates you could come through over there, and I guess that's the way I'm going right now. Oh, the Hitchcock mixing stage is that way. I think maybe this special event is me all the way at the front. So again, for anybody who hasn't been watching the whole time, one of the whole reasons that I'm here on the backlot today is because I'm going to be speaking after a screening of the Tony Gaudio documentary. And Tony Gaudio was a cinematographer in the early days of Hollywood, and he worked not actually for Universal, but for IMP, the Independent Moving Pictures Company, which was Uncle Carl's first company, his first production company. And so I'll be speaking on the panel all about some of the important work that they did together. There used to be rumors that the Hitchcock Theater was cursed because any movie previewed there always bombed. I'm not sure if that's true, but I could believe in a good curse sometimes. Oh, look at this beautiful tiling. I think the last time I was over here, I think Chelsea Handler's show was filming over here. Okay, this actually really does feel like I'm where I'm supposed to go. I think that I'm going to be in that building. Did you watch the documentary about Boris Karloff that came out a few years ago? I don't think so. I do not think that I did watch the Boris Karloff documentary. But I did make my own video about Boris Karloff once on my channel, actually quite a few of them. So, what was the name of that other documentary? I'll add it to my list to watch. I'll see how much is same or different. So this is where it looks very corporate. Your execs are mostly in this building right here. This is another one of the big towers you can see all over. You got your studio store over here. Deli is where a lot of people eat. I remember somebody on this stream was a Wasserman fan. That's actually what this building is called, the Lou Wasserman Building. Oh, the man behind the monster. I'm actually worried that that's what I called my own video. I for sure have used that phrase before. Here's the market. And this is the whole area that we just walked down. All right. I'm gonna park it here for one more minute until I go in and figure out where I'm supposed to go. Thank you guys so much for coming on this journey with me on the backlot. It's been really cool to explore it with you guys. I'm gonna reach out to some of the people I know and see if maybe I can start like coming to different parts of the backlot and talking more about the history and kind of all the evolution over the years from when Uncle Carl was there till today. So I'm gonna follow up with that, and I'll do another one of these live streams soon. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I will circle up afterwards and let you guys know how my presentation goes as well. Thank you guys so much for the luck and the well wishes. Bye.